We are back. MEP'S Top 7 2015 Week 1. A little different this year. Instead of the typical me showing a bunch of crap on the internet, I'm going to call people. I'm either going to FaceTime them or I'm going to just call them, do some audio, throw some banter out there, talk some Top 7, talk some other things, see where it goes, see if you guys like it better. Maybe we'll get up to 15 followers for one of these videos. All right, let's give Matthew Friedline, the weatherman, a call here. You guys can all look at my cracked phone while we're doing it. All right, everybody, you ready? This probably is going to be the part that bores people a little bit. There he is. Figure what better than getting Miley? And one thing I underestimated about this is how many people are going to text in the middle of it that could hopefully not be something that's something we don't want to talk about. So I'm sure Craig, Andy, and the rest of the Pooping Friends Network have all been ready, and they're ready to. Well, anyways, Week 1, lot to talk about, obviously, and the biggest problem is how the hell am I going to do this in a way that looks halfway decent?
It may not. The first week may not look so.
Hey, if we get more than 10 people to look at it, we're making progress.
Brant, Bubba.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to both Madej brothers. I expect you to comment. I expect you to post this wherever in the world you go. So, anyways, let's talk.
Week 1.
Yeah, you don't know the top 7. Nobody will see the top 7 until this comes out on Tuesday night, early Wednesday. Yeah, but number 7 pick is we're starting with obscurity. We're not gonna.
So MEP'S. So MEP'S.
The first pick of the year is
Sunbelt.
No, not yet. The golden showered Knights of Central Florida, and George O'Leary, the Mr. Fake transcript, covering 14 versus an MEP's favorite, FIU, and Ron Turner, one of the worst offensive coordinators in Chicago Bears history. 2 touchdowns, that's it, Thursday night. I mean, what are we talking about? I think that's an easy one. I don't know why that's not 20, 21, 22. So we'll go with that. I don't think you have a ton. I don't think you have a ton of insight on that one. I don't blame you.
All I know is Central Florida. They're always a contender.
Yeah,
in the conference.
absolutely.
FIU garbage.
Yeah, FIU is pretty garbage. So
I believe they play a Big Ten school Week 2. Is that correct?
I believe you're right. It looks like the Cubs just scored again, so we're gonna have to not pay attention to that. So I'm throwing some in the background. I got some UNLV NIU highlights just to to appease the masses if they don't want to look at us. So they want to remember last year's sweat jungle, and luckily we had Tom Madej pulling out ice bags out of the ice chest and laying on them to cool the nerves of the Huskies as the game went on. So, hey, number 6 pick. All this crap that Mike Vuja talks about, how biased I am towards certain teams. I'm taking the Trojans of Southern Cal, covering 27 versus one of the MVP's favorite names, the Ark Staters.
Oh, I assume that's not at Arkansas.
No. I don't think there's going to be a home and home. I don't think they're going to be a neutral site somewhere in the books.
Dallas.
Yeah, but 27 points, first game. You know that USC usually starts with a crappy team and beats the hell out of them. Everybody gets excited. Also, one of the favorite hashtags of the year is going to be Sark After Dark, because we know Sarkisian likes to, hit the bottle after. And the one important thing that we learned from the last few days was that apparently USC is going to ban alcohol in the locker rooms now. I didn't know that locker room was prevalent.
Yeah.
Apparently,
they do things different out the West Coast. You should know that.
Yeah, didn't know they got boozed up after the games, but apparently that's a USC tradition.
That's common out there, Fresno, Cali, Poly, Pomona.
Oh God, I don't. I'm really looking forward to the first USC loss of the year. I don't know how soon it'll come, but it'll come. And they call him 7-win Sark when he was in Washington. I think he might be like 9-win Sark when he's with USC. But all these people that got him in the college football playoff, I just whatever. Go. Good luck.
Yeah.
5, very biased pick. 9.5 points for the Irish covering versus Texas. Now, typically, a very nerve-wracking week 1, wherever Notre Dame plays. It doesn't matter who they play. Texas, on the other hand, a bunch more suspensions, a bunch more guys getting kicked off the team. They just named their quarterback today. To no surprise, it's the same guy who got shut out in the Arkansas bowl game. So I'm not sure if they developed anybody over the summer that's better than a guy who put up 30 yards in the bowl game. So I don't think it'll be close. Now if it torrentially downpours and we have a tornado like the South Florida game a couple years ago, then yeah, this is going to be bad. But I just think 10 points is. I probably would have went to 14 and still picked them. Texas can't score, so I don't think Notre Dame's going to score less than high 20s. So Texas is going to have to score 20 points. And look, the next one they go is Northern Illinois journey to Miami. This is nice. You guys are liking this. I have to keep paying attention. Okay, so
I got to say that 2 teams that a little uncertainty to start the year, but obviously Notre Dame's tasted a lot of success more recently than Texas. So.
Yeah, and I don't think I actually think that Golson leaving is a positive for the standpoint of it's Zaire's team. There's no questions. There's not going to be a first quarter interception by Golson, and we're talking about pulling the quarterback and who should go to who, and all that kind of garbage is gone. And the defense got hurt last year, and before they were hurt, they should have beat Florida State. We don't need to talk about that. And they were in line to be 7-0 and second or third in the country if that happens. So, we'll see what happens. I trust that Joe Schmidt being back, Jalen Smith being back, Kavari Russell being back. Ton of talent. They got maybe the first pick in the draft in the left tackle. Texas will be better under Charlie Strong if they let him get it there. It's just they're a mess right now. So
week one. Yeah.
We're sacking Iowa right now. It's really hard to not enjoy this. And there goes Jordan Lynch. Jordan Lynch texting with Darcy today. We got to get Darcy to watch these.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what about, but we'll find out. But I think this might have been
Boy, Charney.
Yeah.
The best player in the
How did he fall by? We can. I don't know. We might have to have a whole separate discussion about how Charney somehow fell to 5th. Number 4, you're going to enjoy this one. Old Dominion covering 6 points. Covering 6 points at Eastern Michigan.
This is
how could anybody in their right mind pick Eastern Michigan to stay within 6 points of anybody?
I challenge all the viewers of this. How could you find anywhere information on Old Dominion, Eastern Michigan?
Well, Old Dominion has a really good offense. Now, they won, I think it was either 7 or 8 games last year, but they couldn't go to a bowl because they were a transition team. They're just, same thing Charlotte is this year. The fact that Charlotte is a D1 football team, we don't even know.
Big comes calling.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to try to get into the Big Ten at some point. But Old Dominion, good enough offense that they're going to score points. Eastern Michigan, I believe, had 16 points in the last 3 games last year. I don't know who they're going to score on because they don't score on anybody. Now, they're going to try to kick concrete, when they come out for the game.
Their entrance.
And they got gray uniforms and a gray field.
That's a low number of points. I agree.
I don't think I just don't until I see Eastern Michigan pull off anything.
How many people at that game, Bobby?
Not a lot. I don't know if they've cut off the upper level of whatever stadium it is. Have you been there?
No, they haven't yet because Michigan State's coming there.
Oh, yeah, they got to celebrate the state. They probably play 3 times at Eastern and 1 time at Western and 1 time at Central Michigan. Oh, God. We'll talk about PJ real quick soon. Third one, and this line has moved a lot, and it's all the way up to 19.5 now. The Who's are getting 19.5 in Pasadena. 19.5 points.
Oh.
Put this in perspective, they lost to them last year 28-20, 3 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah,
1 touchdown. They had a Heisman Trophy contending quarterback, and they scored 1 touchdown on offense. So I'm not saying that it doesn't matter that it's at UCLA. It does. But true freshman quarterback, great quarterback, sure. But how many true freshman quarterbacks can start their first game, look so great, and they're going to cover 3 touchdowns against, at least in a veteran secondary and a veteran defensive coordinator that's going to love the fact that he's playing a true freshman? I just...
right.
Unless if we give them 3 defensive touchdowns, sure, but I don't think that's going to happen. And by the
kickoff time,
after it's early there, 12:30 there, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, that's good. They'll be. They're not looking. They don't think they have a game. They don't even have the place sold out. It's going to be like 65,000 or something. They got 15,000 empty seats. So, I think it'll be a good game. I don't think we're going to win unless a lot goes right. But I don't think they're 3 touchdowns better a year later with a true freshman quarterback, and not Brett Hundley. And, you know what I mean? Like, and our quarterback I feel a lot better about than I felt about, last year. And he's the one who came into the game and played well against them last year.
And I think that's why it was good keeping London here, because you got the quarterback coach combo coming back. Otherwise, you have to start over the quarterback uncertainty.
Yeah, I just think, well, obviously, it's got to be a positive year for him. The schedule's rough. But if you get one of the first 2 games, and obviously I'm biased towards if it's going to be one, let's get the first one. I don't know. Smiley will have an awkward road trip.
Yeah,
but,
that would not be a good road trip.
Yeah, Smiley won't be wearing UVA stuff at the game. It'll be it'll be UVA stuff. It'll be Notre Dame stuff under the UVA stuff.
Yeah,
if he does that, he's not. He knows who pays the bills. So. Okay, so I like that 19.5 points. Yeah, see, he's rocking it right there. You don't have as many hats as me, let alone the Quins. I think the Quins have more hats than all of us combined.
I love the Quins' random hats, though, that they bust out.
Nothing
better than the Astros cap at the Mendota Sweet Corn Festival.
Yeah, it was a hit, I bet. I mean,
huge hit.
The Quins showed up for the Sweet Corn Fest, and they changed the perception of the visiting level of, like, how good visitors you could have at the Sweet Corn Festival.
Yes, true story.
So they will be back at some point. I hope to be there at some point.
Guaranteed.
And I want to see Corporate Sparky again. I'm not going to lie. I mean,
Corporate Sparky, you best be watching.
He's no Niles, but Corporate Sparky. I hope he checks us. I hope he checks us out. I hope he smiles. Look at this. These texts. Hopefully, I don't get anything that's racy.
Yeah, I got a new cell phone bill just for the next 4.5 months. It's called the Bangler.
I was gonna say Deg'll have his. Deg's probably not gonna watch this. He's gonna see it, delete it. But
yeah.
All right, second pick of the week. I actually was wrong when I told you a couple days ago what the line was. TCU is 2 touchdown favorites against Minnesota. I like the 14 points. TCU. I think Minnesota might stay in the game, but TCU, I believe it's all 11 back on offense, either 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have problems scoring. Minnesota hasn't breaking in a new quarterback, breaking in a new running back because their quarterback just left. Right, and so they're going to have to score. 24, 28 to, to stay in that? I don't know. I just think that it could be bad for Vuja and Guider's boys, the Big Ten brethren. I still think Minnesota's going to be good.
Hey, I'm rooting for Minnesota too, in the season, but I think that's a tough first game because I think too that if one team sneaks into the playoff this year, it'll be a Big 12 team.
Yeah. I think the early thought is Baylor, TCU winner. I don't think either one can survive a loss to anybody else. They could survive maybe a loss to each other if the other one loses twice, but.
And that's why TCU's got that in mind. Minnesota's got the West in mind, which they could.
Yeah, I think Jared Kill, like he was at Northern, is concerned way more with conference games than he is with the non-conference, and that'll probably. I mean, Minnesota. I don't think they'll embarrass themselves, but. I just think that's a lot to ask in week 1.
Kudos to Minnesota for doing a home.
Well, finally scheduling teams that make sense instead of the North Dakotas that beat them every year. But
I can only imagine what the other 3 games on the schedule.
Yeah, that's true. We won't get into that. Number 1 pick, pretty obvious. I called it months ago, and I said this plenty of times already. But it's the Buckeyes. It's 11 points. It's Virginia Tech. I understand that they beat them last year, and. The Huskies are scoring again. I'm so distracted. I understand that that happened, and it's not like it didn't happen. But you can't tell me that they haven't sat the whole year waiting to prove the fact that was a fluke, to prove the fact that Virginia Tech can't stop their offense, so to speak.